system, the PM602. This device we've been manufacturing with these components now since 2002, so they're a very reliable system. In it, you have this box which has included in it an instruction sheet on the PM602. It provides a lot of technical data. I'd encourage you all to read it and to understand a little bit about it. Take you 5 minutes to do so. Maybe a few questions there, but we're always happy to take calls and explain it. But that's always in there, so you can keep that. The customer doesn't really need it, but it's one of the things that we'd like you to keep. The PM602 has been previously built into what we had as a PM600 model, and it was built with a metal case. The metal case design we haven't been using now for about 3 years, and this has been superseded by this new model. The superseded box or case that we had before, which had the appropriate IP rating for this design as it can be mounted outside, was a colour-bond metal case, and we've superseded it with this ASA material, which is used in the automotive industry and is very robust material used for outdoor mounting and for product use. So it's got a wide range of applications. The tooling on this is our own particular tooling and design, and the components inside it, as I said before, we've been using since 2002. So they've got a long track record of use and of service history with it. So I'm going to talk now a little bit more about this and go through each of the parts that you'll see on this and how they connect to the system and what they do. So I'll start by putting this down and then going through a few of the items. The PM602 has its cold sensor connected directly into the controller, so you don't need to touch that. As we discussed before, that, like the hot sensor, has a temperature control resistor in the PT1000, and that enables the PC to control the temperature on, temperature off, and some of the other serviceable items that it does for you. This slides inside into the deep well probe. The idea is it's measuring the tank temperature, so you don't want this flopping around out into the air because it will be giving false readings. There's a P-clip on the side of it here, which just allows you to clip it in place and make sure it's not easily removed. As a little bit of a note, I don't know how many times I've had customers ring us up on this one and tell us the dog ate their lead. Because this is free and is on the side of the tank, just whilst it's more than suitable for that type of installation, if you do have any pets that like to chew things, just be a bit careful with this one and maybe think about putting it in a conduit rather than leaving it in the open like we do. But if you want to leave it like that, there's no problems. There won't be any problems with it. As with all pump kits, there's always a constant power supply. Another problem that we always seem to come across is that electricians run a single sub-circuit out to the element and forget that whilst that might be controlled through somebody switching it on and off inside, this has to have a permanent 10 amp power supply, usually just a weatherproof 10 amp GPO located within a metre or so of the hot water tank and of this, and that's just a normal 3-pin plug top, moulded plug top that plugs straight into it. And again, you can just leave it turned on as it turns itself on and off. The device here we use has a measured power consumption, what they call parasitic losses, and the entire device, including the pump and also the controllers and so forth, is no more than about 22 to 23 watts. It's very low wattage consumption, but it's all factored into the complete systems modelling for the STCs under the regulators' requirements. So don't fear, it's not always turned on, and when it is turned on, the amount of energy it collects in the collectors more than offsets any power this consumes. So finally, connected to the side of it here, before I open up it inside, is we have the impeller case and pump. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this pump when we open it all up, so you'll see it inside. We have at the bottom here, which connects to this device as well, through these little connection couplings here. It screws onto there like that, and then likewise that would screw into there. Well, I've screwed it out of there. So anyway, so just for the sake of that, we've got that connected through. As I said before, these are put in with an O-ring, so you don't need to put in liquid sealers or thread tape into that. This has got a washer inside that. Again, you wouldn't need to worry about anything other than just tightening it up. The washer's more than adequate to seal that. Bit of thread tape or sealing compound on this and this. On this one, this has got a rubber seal in there. You don't need to worry about that. This onto here again is a rubber seal, so again you don't need to worry about anything special there. If you feel inclined, you can put a little bit of thread tape on there if you feel that you don't want to trust your luck. This again are the only components in you need to seal up with some other equipment. Okay, so that connects your tank to your pump, and on the other side of the pump we're now going to put this coupling and the non-return valve, which is located located this way and onto there. Like that. So ball valve, obviously a normal ball valve with the slot like that. It's open. Turning it 90 degrees will give you the closure, and this then allows the water to flow through when it's in this position. So the pump, when it pumps to activated, it's pushing water up to it. This allows you to isolate. Now keep in mind that this is the only device you should ever have as an isolator in a flow and return line to the collector. If you, for whatever reason, believe that you want to put another ball valve in somewhere, that could be quite dangerous to the collectors. At all times, the collector has to have at least one open vent back to the tank. So for expansion, if the pump shuts down and there's no circulation because the collector will go into stagnation, expansion will occur up there and it has to push back into the tank or somewhere else. It just can't be locked off up there. It's quite dangerous if that was to happen. So above all else, only one of these ever in a line, a flow and return line. The other items we have in the box are the owner's manuals. Again, we would like you to ensure that you hand this over to the customer. All the details are printed on the back. There's a range of boxes to fill out for the name of the owners, serial numbers, and date of installation, which are critical to their warranty. Please keep a copy for yourself, give a customer a copy and send a copy back to us. The owner's manuals provide that. This is a specific owner's manual for the AS system. It gives them details of operating hints and operation and installation instructions in there. You'll also notice in here there's a little bag with some screws. This is to attach this to the side of the tank, and a spare fuse which is for the resole controller that we have located inside it. In future models, we'll have that fuse stuck into the box inside, so it can't go missing sometime, and it's always there for servicemen at a later stage. So I'm now going to go into talking a little bit about what's in the controller now, so I'll work through that. I'll open it up. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's inside it now, but again, the enclosure is sealed off with 4 screws. It's an IP34 rated enclosure. It can be mounted straight outside, perfectly good for UV preservation. It won't have any UV degradation rather, and obviously for storms or any other conditions in the rain, it's more than adequate for this application. All the serial number and information located here on the front compliance plate. So I'll just take a second to open this all up, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about what's in it